right now, I'm going to show you what a Gantt chart is. There's one right here, but first I should show you how to get to it. If you're logged into your school Gmail and you click on the little 9 squares and click Sites, you'll be taken to the class website. You may have more than one you're subscribed to. I'm in charge of 2. So if you go to the class website, you won't have some of this stuff at the top because I own the page, but you will have one that says Marine Research Files and Links. If you go there, there's a couple of files and there will be more added. So if most of the stuff I give out to you, I also give here. I emailed all of you the paraphrase guide. The grading policy is here. The goal sheet and the, it says bi-monthly here. So the bi-weekly grading sheet that we used is here, as well as stuff like how to get to your binder. The one you're going to do is Gantt, and you want to download it, not view. I cannot overemphasize how important it is not to use Google Docs for anything related to Excel. It's not good. Even once we get into Word things where we have like actual formatting instead of just straight, paragraphs, it's not going to work well. So please download. So I've already downloaded it. Let me shrink this. And here's the Gantt chart. Let me make it a little bigger. When you open it up, it'll just say Gantt chart 2016, 2017. Let me make it a little bigger so you can see. The idea of a Gantt chart is that it's a project management tool. And it's supposed to help you see what you can be working on and visualize how long you have left over to work on it. I've made this one. It's just a template. You're going to have to modify it, but it also teaches you a little bit about how to use Excel if you're not great at it yet. So there's 2 parts. There's the chart and the sheet. The sheet is where a lot of the actual workings go on for starting the Gantt chart. So how to review a Gantt chart. You usually have date across the top. This one seems to be set on 3-month intervals, but I'm actually going to change that. And then down here, along the y-axis, you have your tasks. So for a very large project, you'll have lots of tasks. I'm actually going to encourage you guys to limit your tasks on this first Gantt chart. You can add them in as you go. And then where you add them in is you let me take a step back. The bars themselves. The bars themselves represent the amount of time you have to work on that section. And you're going to assign this to yourself to some degree. Blue represents completed. As you can see, it says completed over here. And green represents remaining. Gantt charts only work if you update them on a regular basis. So you will be doing this at a minimum once every 2 weeks. So let's get into some of this. So for this one, I'll make this a little bigger. Let's make this like 125 so you can see it. Okay, hopefully you can read that. So over here we have the tasks. And I suppose I could just make this say tasks so it's easier. Start date is going to be when you started working on that particular task. You want to assign yourself about how long you think it's going to take you to work on something, and split it into how much longer you need. So get sources. You guys are all working on that, and you have been. Let's change the start date. I think that let's put the. I know many of you started before, but I'm going to pretend I didn't start till the first day of school because I'm that student. So. Since from the first day of school to today is the 16th, so I've completed 15 days, and I know that mine, I need to have my due date is the 30th, but I want to make sure I have plenty of time to annotate, so I'm going to give myself another 6 days, to work on that. If you go into the chart, you'll see that it automatically shifted everything over right here. It changed the size of the bar. So you're going to want to go in and it changes everything. You can't start your annotated bib until you got your sources. So I'm going to say that I started my bib on the same day because I actually would get a source annotated, but many of you are just into getting sources. That means I've completed 15. And for the final draft being done, let's say you have maybe 14 days left. And if you notice here, these 2 bars, so blue is what we completed, and you can see you should be at least halfway done with the annotations by now. Hopefully it goes faster as you go. The same thing for the introduction. We're going to start the introductions fairly soon. The 20th is it's a little early. Let's put the end of next week, so that'll be like the 23rd. I will start talking to you about how to work on your introductions. So we haven't completed any of it, and you're going to have about 2 weeks, so 14 days to work on that. I'm actually going to take out some of these. they don't need to be on the chart since you have no idea how to do any of this yet. Clear. Now, but I do want to include something more specific. Maybe you need to meet with your mentor. And you started that way back, let's just say in the summer, 7/1/16. And that means you've completed, let's see, 31, 62, plus 16 is 78 days of that. Now, in the marking period, there's about 10 weeks in a marking period. We've completed 2. So that means we have about, let's say, 50 days left. And you can estimate these. These don't have to be hard deadlines. This is for visualization. And if you notice, it has changed those. Now, there's a big gap here. That's because even though I emptied these cells, they are still technically part of the chart. So you can keep entering into them, or you can actually delete them. I'll show you how. But let's see, is there anything else? And you want to brainstorm. Look at your goals. What did you set for your goals? So some of you said things like begin to enter data into Excel. Because some of you want to go to the science fair. So I know somebody who started that. And let's get really specific. I'll pretend I'm one of you. Enter raw data in Excel. And then they started that, I don't know, let's say last week. And that means they've gotten about 6 days done. And they'll probably have another 3 weeks of stuff they need to do on that. So those are the types of things you can put in there. See how that goes? All right. So suppose those are the only things you want to be working on right now for your project. And you're not really sure where you're going with everything else. So you go to, now we have the tasks, and this will vary from person to person, as will completed and remaining. So don't just copy someone's. If you're unsure about the dates, ask me and I'll help you with it, and I'll absolutely help you with your Gantt charts in class. But they should be unique to each person, even if you have similar projects. Okay, so back to changing the chart. So we put in our new tasks, and we go back to our chart. Yep, click chart. It's annoying. So you can see that there are empty cells right here. We want to get rid of those. And in order to do that, it's time to start learning how to use Excel. So make sure there's a blue bar. Click on the chart. Go to Chart, Source Data. Now, each one of these represents part of the chart. And you'll see that these are called series. So series are each little section of a chart. And one of them says Start Date. So we're right here. So if you click over here, it'll take you back to here. And you can see that our start date, come here, our Y values run from up here, which is B2, all the way down to B10, which is where we deleted the empty stuff. So you can do this 2 ways. You could just take out B10 and do to B6, or you could delete this whole row and just don't grab the start date, just grab these 6 cells. Our y-axis labels need to change too. So I'm going to delete those and just select our specific tasks. Notice I didn't take the header. And I'm going to do the same thing for completed and remaining. I'm going to delete this. Just select this page, this little column. Y labels is already changed. Notice that says 6. Same thing for remaining. Go in here, delete that column and take this specific one. Click OK. Oh, that's fine. And you can see now that it's just showing just the tasks you've assigned it. And that's how you want it. So I picked 5 tasks. There's no magic number, but I do want to see at least the ones that are on your goal sheet. All right, moving on. There's a couple things you got to tweak. So this generic one goes from May all the way to March. And that doesn't really tell us a lot. There's a lot of blank space on here. So what you have to do is you have to adjust the scale. Now, this is where things get a little wonky, and I will definitely help you with this in class. On your sheet, I've given you sort of a cheat. Excel acts like it formats data according to like number or date or whatever, but it doesn't really. So one of the things that you have to do is estimate. I want my Gantt chart to start where my first task started, which for me was July 1st. So I'm going to find out where I should start my scale. So I'll put in the date of July 1st, 2016. I will do the Apple button or Command copy it into the new cell. But I'm going to change the format. Format, cell, and I'm going to change it to general. This weird freaky number is the number that Excel uses to make numbers look like whatever we want them to look like. Decimals are formatted. So I'm actually going to copy this, 42552, go back to chart, click once on my scale bar, and now it's highlighted. Double click it, and it comes up with a format axis. I'm going to go up to scale. My minimum, I'm going to change to that number that I calculated. Click OK. And now you can see that my bars have all moved over to the beginning. Well, now I have all this empty white space over here. So it looks like I'm stopping about November with the current tasks I have set up. So I'm going to do the same thing. Put in the date. And then copy it over. Change its format to general. Click OK. Copy that again. Back to the chart. Click on the scale. Double click it to open it. Now we want our maximum to be this date. If you notice, looks pretty good. Now I'm not happy with the fact that it's like at 2-month intervals in between here. So you could change your unit. It's set to 61 as the default, but I think I'm going to make it even more specific. Like let's do like a week at a time. Looks a little busy, so you can change it to maybe 10 days at a time. Looks pretty good. Click OK, and then you have your Gantt chart with a scale that's a little more reasonable. And theoretically, your today's date, which would be the 16th, should be the line right between the blue and the green. Now, other things you need to do. Change it to your name. So to work on a field in Excel, you just click on it, click again to get inside it. I'm going to change mine to Baskin. And then the date that you have your meeting. My meeting, let's say, is Monday. And there you go. Then you do File, Save As. I would save mine as Baskin, Gantt, and then the date, 9. You have to use underscores, 19. And I would save it. You can then do thank you, and then you can then print it out. So that's how you use a Gantt chart. So this is just a reminder. If you forget how to do things, you can check this video. And if after that you still have any questions, you can ask me.